Hello guys, this is a review of the newly released Doctor Sleep, which is obviously a sequel to The Shining. I'm really excited. I just watched it not like 10 minutes ago, and as you could see, I got out of bed and I had to review it because it's just, whoa, otherworldly. It's amazing. Like I said, I just did a quick Wikipedia search for the names and stuff, just verifying the things that I thought I knew about it. It is a direct sequel. It's based on the novel written by Stephen King, the horror master. Okay, let's get started. So this movie follows Dan. He is still traumatized from the events of the other movie, which I didn't really enjoy, ironically. And they fast forward to 2011, right? He's older, he's a man now, and he's an alcoholic. He rushes to another state where he befriends a guy. His name is, I'm gonna have a lot of trouble with names. I think it's Billy. Let's call him Billy. It doesn't really matter because just take in the characters and everything that I'm telling you. So Billy takes him in and he becomes kind of like his sponsor. He takes him to AA meetings and finds him a job, and he becomes quite stable. But while all of this is happening, we see one of the opening shots, I believe it was of this girl named Violet, very young girl, beautiful eyes, and she's being called by this mysterious woman wearing a hat. Also, oh gosh, so beautiful. And they eat her, but they don't eat her like cannibalistic way. In a cannibalistic way, they eat her soul. I think, what is it that they call it? I just watched it. I can't believe I'm blanking out right now. I think it's her vapor or steam, something like that. It's just kind of like, it looks like steam, so we're gonna call it steam, but it might not be steam. And later we find that this group doing these things, I want to keep this raw. I want to like you guys actually feel my energy because this movie's so good. So they eat it up, and this group is called the Knot. It's composed of various members, some older than others, male, female, no discrimination there. And their one of their distinctive physical things is that their eyes turn like a very bright blue, like right in the center. It's really cool, really creepy. I remember thinking with the opening scene, I was like, okay, we're gonna get there. I was feeling a little like, my heart beating a little bit. I was like, okay, I mean, it happens with every movie. I'm human. Not every movie, not like a romance movie, but every horror movie, usually that's where I start. I start kind of like dun 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 dun. But then after like a couple of minutes, and I'm like, okay, this is where we're at. We're cool. We could play this game. And this one, I remember watching that, and I was like, whoa, it's building it up really high. And once she grabbed the girl, I was like, that's sick. But then it kind of like, it mellowed down, and I was like, I know what to expect from this movie. Let's keep watching. But it was good. The scenery was beautiful, like in a foresty place. I don't want to get too much into it because I don't want the video to cut off. But so that happens, right? And then fast forward to, like I said, Dan is over there doing his own thing. He's already doing really good. He's doing well. And he starts getting these messages on the board of the apartment that he's renting that it says like hello, and it's from this girl named Abra. They were celebrating her birthday when she was younger, and they hired a magician. And every trick that he was able to do, she would just say, hey, I could do that too. I could do magic as well. He was like, good for you, girl. But she seriously has like magic. And they call it the Shine. And like Dan was saying, when he was younger, he called it Tony. He called it like other people call it different things, but it's basically a shine. And the shine is what cause these other people with similar gifts, like the Knot, that group of people, they feed off of the shine. from kids especially, because as we find out, when you get older, it starts getting like polluted or something like that. Anyway, Dan gets in contact with Abra, and they develop this friendship. They're like, hey, what's going on? They do that on a daily basis, and she tells him about this kid. Now, you just have to watch it. At this point, mind you, I was falling asleep. I haven't been sleeping for like the past couple of days, like 2 hours max. So I was really going to like just fall asleep tonight. That was my goal, my dream. I did everything I had to do with the coronavirus and all. But I mean, I was like, okay, if this ends like around midnight or around 1, because I did watch the director's extended cut. I believe that's what it is. Let's double check. Director's cut, and it is an extended cut, and this is the theatrical version, but I watched this one. I didn't watch it in theaters, I mean. Anyway, it took like around 3 hours, right? But when it got to the point where the knot was murdering this kid, by the way, spoilers, everybody knows that. It says in the title, this kid that's like number 19 in a baseball team, played by a very famous actor who, I'm sorry, but I forgot his name, no disrespect. He has been getting a lot of attention, and like he's been invited to the Ellen show, and he has been attending like Academy Awards, and people praise his acting. And I watched him in a movie called, I think, Good Boys, and I thought, well, he's a prepared actor, but I didn't see anything like that really stood out. He's good. I thought that he was solid, obviously, but not like, but in this movie, like I said, I was falling asleep. You know those times that you're like, okay, and it's not because it was boring. It's not like other movies that I've watched, blah, 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 and like probably a couple of movies I've slept through. But this one, I was falling asleep because I was just so ready to fall asleep. It's been days. But when that scene came on, and they got a hold of him, the knot, and they were killing him. Whoa, no, my heart. I was like, cause I saw his face earlier, right? And I was like, I think I've seen him. I think it's that kid, but I wasn't really sure. And then I double checked afterwards, and it turns out. And then I like, when Abra downloads and prints out a picture of him when he turns out missing, I was able to kind of confirm, and then I just double checked later. But his acting was on point. Everybody's acting, like I said, I really do apologize because I cannot memorize everybody's name. It's like besides the point, because everybody was fantastic. Everybody, I don't need to single out anybody, but I'm doing this for this kid because when his scene came on, when he was being killed, this sounds so creepy, but it's a horror movie. I was like, whoa, it reminded me of me when I was a little kid. It sounded so real. Like I could hear myself, and I was like, who? Like, what have you gone through in your life that you could pull that out of you? Like, what type of things have you gone through? You know, it was just crazy. From that moment on, my eyes were just like an owl. I was like, whoa, this movie is just, I was just being absorbed by all the themes that were being used. Like, this movie kind of takes me in a Martyrs direction, with this creepy old lady coming out of like a bathtub. Then it takes me to like the Silence of the Lambs. Like, I don't really know what's going on. Who is it really? And then it takes me to Insidious. At first, that's the feeling that I got. I was like, okay, they're playing the whole Insidious game. They're playing that card. Okay, I get it. Insidious is an awesome movie. They want to feed off that. That's my thought in the back of my head, right? As I watched it, I was enjoying it, but I was still like, it feels like me. But then, like, they went in all these directions, and by that point, I was just like, this is too much. And then it became kind of like The Lost Boys. Like, there's a scene where the leader which is this girl right here, the one with the hat that I told you guys about. That's Abra, and this is Dan. It's like Ewan Mcgregor and Rebecca Ferguson. I am so sorry. I don't know if Rebecca Ferguson is Abra or the woman that plays the girl with the hat, but like I said, everybody was amazing. And there's a scene where the girl with the hat is flying, and I was like, the Lost Boys, and it was just so cool, so intense. Mind you, oh, let me get to this before the video cuts off. It better not cut off. She stands in front of the girl, in front of Abra, this little girl, like she's in middle school. What is she, like 12? She's like, like, oh, don't worry, I'll go and, like, you know, I'll put a little worm, I'll put a few worms, like, she's a child, what could she do? You know, she's not scared of the girl. And the girl's just like, try me, bitch. Like, not literally, but I was like, damn, girl. I love how in this movie, it's usually, like, one race, or they keep it very stereotypical. And here I see like a whole mix of everybody, and everybody has very important characters that each carry a pivotal moments in the movie that's gonna later play out and expand and turn into something different. It's just magical. I have one word to describe this movie. Not one word, more like a phrase. A fairy tale for adults. It's what I would describe this movie as. Because you know, when you're younger and you hear like, oh, the Three Little Piggies and the Big Bad Wolf, and then Little Red Riding Hood, and you're like, ooh, like that's creepy, like that's crazy. But then you grow up, and it doesn't matter how many Hansel and Gretels you watch, it doesn't matter how many whatever movie, whatever based on classic folk tales, fairy tales, we as adults are already desensitized to it by this point. But this movie resurrects the fairy tale genre. Stephen King is a genius. I don't know, like I said, I didn't really do a deep research. I went into this movie like just with the blindfold on and just leaped into the waters. I loved it. If it's based on the novel, almost like, well, not word for word, but you know, if it keeps very honest to the novel, then my goodness, Stephen King, and he's already a king, a god in the horror universe, of course. My goodness, it was great. I was not disappointed at all. I love how the good guys were winning. Like I told you, that after a while, the Knot starts chasing Abra to get her, because they realize that she's a very powerful being. Like, she is able to cause like what's that, like a little mini earthquake, all by herself. So they're like, we have to go eat her, we have to go kill her. And they have like little plans, like, oh, we shouldn't kill her, we should milk her like a cow, whatever. But that's when she gets in contact with Dan, and Dan goes over and she's like, okay girl, well, I'm gonna help you. And obviously the dad is like, she's only 13. Oh, she's 13, not 12. She's only 13 years old. Like, he thinks like, well, it's probably a pedophile, like, let me get rid of him. And that's when Abra touches her dad and shows him everything that she's able to do. And that's another cool scene. After they murder basically everybody except for Crow Daddy, that's his name, and the girl with the hat. So they're the only two left, and the group was probably composed of 5 or 6 people, and they killed everybody else. She's like, what did you do, you little bitch? That's the girl with the hat. And then she's like, try me, bitch. She's like, again, I just loved it. And she does that, the girl does that like 3 times in the movie. There's another time where the creepy old naked woman is coming out of the bathtub, and she turns, she's like, and she's running away, right? Because they go back to the hotel where The Shining took place, the original hotel, and they relive they pay good homage to the original The Shining, the whole blood, the twin scenes, the little tricycle, and Abra's running away, right? And when she goes into the room and she sees inside the bathroom where the old lady's coming out. She's like, okay, like, try me. Like, I want to see you. I want to see you try. It's just crazy. And with all this happening, I forgot to mention that there's a guy, I think his name is Dick. He serves as a mentor. He's a helper to little Dan ever since he was a child. And then as he grows up, he starts kind of removing himself from his life. He doesn't need him that much, but he teaches him how to lock in the beings that are in the hotel and everything with a casket, something like a box. And he tells him that one day he's gonna grow up and he's gonna do the same. He's like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that to people. I don't want to, like, help, basically. And I was like, I feel like that's this movie, ironically. Oh, please don't turn off video. This movie, ironically, it didn't surprise me in, like, that's what I liked about it too. It's not like you don't have to be like, and who is who and what is that and blah blah blah. This is basically horror, and horror right in your face, just punching you right in the face. Like, it doesn't give a shit. It's just gonna give it to you and you're gonna take it. That's what it is. If you like horror, you're just sit there and enjoy. You don't have to be writing like trying to solve a math problem and using a calculator, who's who and where is that. Like, no. I kind of foresaw most of the movie, and everything that I wanted to happen happened. At the very end, when he was being killed by the girl, the hat, I was like, that's not what I saw. Like, he better not die, not like that. If the monsters get to him, well, the monsters got to him, right? Okay, fine. But not her. And then he survives that, and the monsters take her. Well, the beings that live in the hotel, that's the whole trick. At the end, you have to watch it for yourself. And at the very end, he does die. But like Abra says, he doesn't cease to exist. He still goes on, and we all go on. So it's a very deep movie. It kind of makes you think in that sense. Not to the extreme where you're like not knowing where you're at, but really makes you think. Also, when the people are dying, they're like, I'm scared. And I was like, boy, the girl in the hat, when the old guy was saying goodbye to her, I was like, oh, I'm so scared. He was dying because he was not being fed right. And she told him, you've been through like all these centuries. You've fed off kings, queens, the Pope. You can't be scared. And it kind of makes you think, just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful movie. Reminds me a lot of the original script of Jeepers Creepers 3 Cathedral. They have kind of like a going back to other centuries and incorporating that. And I feel like every time horror movies do that, they do make you kind of like, hey, we don't know about so long ago. Anything could be. I don't know if you understand what I'm saying, but it's like when you're here, okay, well, oh, this is fake or this is whatever. But when we talk about things that happen so far in the past, like, you don't know. It could have happened. The Mummy. I don't know. But anyway, Dr. Sleep was so much fun. I loved it. I did not want to fall asleep. Not for one bit. I just went to the restroom and came right back. And I was like, I have to do a review instantly, immediately, as soon as possible. And I am kind of jeopardizing my sleep just a little bit, just 1 hour more, 1 hour less. But I'll finish adding the description and everything tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna post it tomorrow because I want this to get to you guys as soon as possible. It's an amazing movie, so much fun, so intelligent, so smart, so unique, and great acting. Everybody involved, amazing. Everybody, kudos to the camera people, every staff member, everybody involved. Thank you for spending your time giving this joy to the world. This was amazing. This was fun. Unforgettable movie. This movie was recommended by an ex-coworker of mine. I had already had plans to watch it in theaters, and she insisted that I watched it well, she recommended it, and then she followed up with the recommendation, and I told her, excuse me, I'm talking so much, and I told her I'm gonna watch it, I promise, and promise completed. Thank you for recommending it. You know who you are. And thank you for watching. Oh, no, this isn't gonna end now. My rating. Obviously, as if it weren't clear enough with what I said earlier, 10 out of 10 in its category. And overall, even if I had to put overall, it's a 10 out of 10. Amazing movie. Go watch it. You have time now. I think everybody in the world has time right now. If you have the means, of course. I don't want to be insensitive. But yeah, if you can, check it out. Thank you for watching.